What's up, guys? In today's video we're going to be doing a bunch of maintenance to the Lexus. The first video was super long and I did a few things on it then. I don't know which order this video will get posted. I've been super busy with school, so I've taken a break from videos for a while, but I do have a good bit of footage that I need to get together and edit. But I've got all the parts for this that it needs for now, other than a power steering pump, which that'll come later because it's not even fully out. But I've got front brake pads, which needs to get done, oil and oil filter. I'm going to clean the throttle body as well. And then I've got spark plugs and valve cover gaskets because it leaks a lot. It's probably already leaked after sitting here in the garage. Maybe not actually. Anyways, it leaks power steering fluid, but like that's whatever, I just fill it up. And then it leaks oil from the valve cover gasket, so I want to get that figured out. And then my rear tires are pretty bald. I don't want to completely get rid of these tires, like running them to wires, because I probably want to sell the car on these wheels. So I bought a set of some LS 430, I think, wheels. And the previous owner said they were bent. I know two of them are for sure bent, but these do not look bent. But anyways, they're just going to be burners. This car is not, doesn't need to ride super smooth anyways. They're just going to go in the rear so I can mess around and have tires that won't totally hydroplane me. But they were super cheap on Facebook, so I figured I might as well try it. And if not, I got good tires on them that I can swap onto other wheels later. They're 235 45 18 on here, and I think these are 245s. I have a set of 225 40 18 grippy Continentals that I got back when I was at Discount Tire. So if these two aren't bent on the rear, then I'm gonna burn through these tires, and then once these tires are gone, I'm gonna throw the nice Continentals on, and they'll be a little bit thinner so I can have better fitment, and I'll put them on with spacers on the front, and then those will be my new fronts, and then I'll just get several sets of burners for the rear, because if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, at Nick Jornap, and I will get you'll get a lot more updates there. But I'm getting BC coilovers for this, a drift angle kit, and a welded diff soon, used on Facebook. I found a good deal. And I'm also probably going to get other coilovers before that as well. But this will be turning into a somewhat actual drift build now. So I want to get that ready to go. I'm going to machine some engine lift spacers at school probably. And then I'm going to get a new hood and new fender soon. So I'm going to turn this hood into a skid plate, because it's already dented, so I'm not going to sell it or anything. So I'm just going to cut into it and turn it into a skid plate and raise the motor so I can slam it, and I'll use it for a skid plate in the front, and then I'm going to make a skid plate over the muffler right here because it hangs pretty low, and then I'll also probably use a little piece to do a skid plate in the rear for the diff. But yeah, it's got a little bit of damage now. I wall tapped a I don't even know, like a mound of dirt kind of while drifting, and it cracked the bumper a little bit, but like that's no big deal. It's a beater car, it's meant for fun, but I can repaint that and fix that crack pretty easily. And then let's see, over here the bumpers popped out a little bit and this thing's dangling down, but that's an easy fix. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack it up and start getting to work on the front brake pads, and then we'll move on from there. I don't have a whole lot of time before I got to get back to school, so we're going to be going pretty fast today to try to get all this stuff done. So the brake job is going pretty smoothly. Just took one bolt out, flipped the caliper up, and getting the new pads in there and greasing them up. My suspension is clunking a lot, and I figured out it's because the bushing right here is just blown. So that's good because it's getting new coilovers anyways. I was hoping it wasn't something else. And then this washer fluid reservoir is like loose, but I don't know. I don't really know what to do about that. The clip's broken. And then I fixed the bumper right here, and I'm soaking this in some PB Blaster to get that bolt undone to be able to bolt that back up. Unfortunately, the grease that was in these cheap brake pads busted everywhere, so I had to clean them with brake cleaner, but they should be good now, and they're all greased up and ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the brake job and then get on to the valve cover gaskets, which is gonna be the harder thing that I do today. All right, so now it's time for the valve cover gaskets. Here they are. They're Nakamoto. I don't even know if that's a good brand or not. Got them on eBay. It's got the new washers for the bolts and the spark plug grommets, spark plug hole grommets. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting everything removed. I've got some gasket maker here that you'll need to use when there's the half moons, which I'll show you when I get them off. But those will typically leak, so I'm gonna go ahead and redo those with this gasket maker, and you also need it for the corners of the gaskets here to make sure they seal up. And then since I'm gonna have the whole thing apart, I'm gonna go ahead and take the throttle body off and clean the throttle body because it's probably caked up. Even if it's not, I'll just go ahead and get it perfectly clean and do a service there. And then I also bought some high mileage oil to do an oil change. I don't know what oil is in it, and it has some sea foam in it right now, cleaning the engine out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the oil changed too. And then I've also got these NGK spark plugs, and then obviously there's the oil filter. So it'll be getting a full service today. I really hope it runs better after this, but at least it'll give me some peace of mind. Didn't cost a whole lot. All this stuff was about $100, and it'll be nice to list if I need to sell it. Because I listed it on Facebook, and I was getting a lot of good trade offers, and I didn't like it, so then I deleted it because I kind of just listed it for fun, and then once I got the good deal on the drift parts, I'm just going to keep it for now because I love it, and I don't know, it needs a little bit more work, but I'm going to put more effort into this build. I've got some cool ideas for it, and since it's not as nice of a car as the Focus, I can kind of do what I want and play around and do stupid stuff with it and not really feel bad. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm probably going to start on the driver's side here because it's a lot easier, and I can kind of get used to what I'm doing there on that side, and then I'll do this side. Since I'm using the gasket maker, I'm going to do a side at a time so that one doesn't dry before the other one is ready to go on. So I'm going to start by removing the intake, and then we'll get all this plastic off, and then I will be ready to pop the valve covers off. Okay, so the driver's side valve cover is off. I've been cleaning up this area here and around here. I've been using a screwdriver to get all of the silicone out from around the cam there. And then I also took out the half moon seals. They're pretty stuck in there, but I just used some pliers and grabbed onto them and ripped them out. They go right there. And there's one in the back there too. And you want to make sure you get the silicone off of right here because there'll be silicone in the corners and on the top there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my Dremel out with a wire brush and get this all cleaned up and clean up these half moons. And then I'll get to putting the new RTV silicone on there, the gasket maker. It'll go inside the channel of the half moon, and then it'll also go in the corners and around the cam there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that going. And then I also cleaned off the cover, just made it look a little bit better, got all that gunk that was caked up on there, 230,000 miles gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this cleaned up and then put it back together on this side. And also while I have it off, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the spark plugs and make sure the ones I bought are gapped correctly at 0.044, I'm pretty sure. And then we'll be good to go. So the new gasket is pressed in. It is a lot softer and more malleable than the first one, so it definitely needed them. And then all of the spark plug hole gaskets are pressed in, and the tabs are there You just press those tabs down and it holds them in. And now all I gotta do is use the gasket maker and put it on the half moons there and press those in, and then put some gasket maker in the corners of those little humps there. And then we're ready to put it on and tighten it down. And I'll just use the new washers here on the bolts that attach the valve cover that came with the kit. And then the driver's side will be good to go. And then I'll just knock out the passenger side. So the driver's side is all buttoned back up. Looks better, it's nice and clean now. I've been off-roading, so I need to detail this whole engine bay after I do this job. Get my greasy fingerprints off of the fender and all that. But it's all back together. I threw the spark plugs in, and they came with this. It came with this cool little like old looking NGK Racing spark plug badge. Ooh. See, that made it all worth it right there. That's the whole reason I did this job. So, driver's side done. Haven't done the passenger side, so I'm probably not going to record that because it's really not much different. I do have to take the throttle body out, so I will show myself cleaning that, because once I get it out, I will clean it. And then I'll do the spark plugs and the valve cover gaskets, and then we should be good to go. But that's like a perfect spot in the engine bay. Look at that. It's like raised. It's almost like it was meant for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get to work taking off the throttle body, and I also might try to clean the idle air control valve if I can get to it easily, because I've heard that you're supposed to do that, but I don't actually know. So I'm gonna get to work. So I went ahead and removed the throttle body. Leaked quite a bit of coolant everywhere, but other than that, it was good. Wasn't too bad to get out. You just have to take those wires, the cables out, which is a little difficult. But I cleaned the throttle body. It is pristine now, nice and clean. This was black. It was totally caked with stuff on this whole side. So hopefully that makes it run a lot better. I might try to clean the idle air control valve if I decide I want to get to it. But I'm going to go ahead and do the valve cover gasket first, because that's why I'm in here. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out real quick and get it all put back together, and then we'll move on. I got to do the oil change, and yeah. So in typical car fashion, I dropped my 10mm socket in the engine bay, and it did not hit the ground. I've looked for it for 30 minutes and I cannot find it. I saw exactly where it went, and it never hit the ground. I've looked all under the car. I've shaken the car. I've jacked it up. I literally jacked it up and then dropped it fast to try to knock it down, and it will not come out. So that's kind of unfortunate because it was my nice impact socket. And then I lost the hand 10mm too for the longest time. Then I found it. So I'm going to take a break on doing the valve cover gaskets. All I got to do is clean it. And then I've already cleaned the valve cover itself, and then I'm swapping over the washers onto the bolts here. And then I'm using this spray adhesive. When I put these in, I spray the top of it so it sticks in the valve cover better. I'm actually going to flip this over so it can dry on this side too. And I spray it on the gasket so it sticks in here. And then whenever you put it in the car, you don't have to fight the gasket falling out while you're trying to get it aligned. So there's that. I'm going to take a break from this. Throttle body's cleaned. Everything's ready to go. I did get this yellow headlight tint, though. I ordered it and it came in today, to tint these middle lights here, because the previous owner put yellow bulbs in them, and I kind of like the look of having the yellow center lights. I think it's unique and it looks cool. So I'm just going to do it because it's easily removable, and it gives me something to do while I don't want to be doing this stuff for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this out and put it on here, and then see how it looks and see if I like it. So that's what the tint looks like. Super easy job. I didn't go on the inside. I just folded it over. Didn't even have to heat it or anything, and it turned out pretty good. I guess I'll close the hood and you can see what it looks like with the hood closed. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I like it. I guess I'm kind of going to go with like a fire color scheme for this car. You can see like this sticker has yellow, orange, and red. I'm getting a plate for OSU and that's going to be orange. I might paint the brakes orange. Interior staying pretty much the same, but it has the red dice. There's the red there. There's the orange turn signals, red taillights. And then underneath the hood, this hood's bent, but I'm getting a new hood soon. When I get the new hood, I think I'm going to take out this sound deadening stuff and clean it and then paint something here. So I think I'm going to paint like flames going up on like a background and kind of just practice some like rattle can techniques. And then maybe I'm starting a new business, which I'll announce that later. But I might put like the logo across there just for some cool pictures and stuff. But yeah, I think the yellow goes with it. I think it looks good. Kind of makes it look like a rally car. I drive it off-road anyways, so it works. The headlights are also messed up. These are headlights out of a junkyard Lexus because the lenses were better looking. But something is weird about them. They shine to the side, not like up and down. I don't know what's wrong with them, but I'm gonna have to swap the other ones back because I cannot see anything with these. So yeah, I gotta swap back to my other headlights. So I'll have to do that probably in this video too. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this valve cover job real quick, and then yeah, I'll probably start the car, let it run for a little bit so the oil can warm up, and then do the oil change, and then we can worry about the headlights and swapping the wheels and stuff. So everything is back together for the most part. Everything that's actually important is plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and test start it to make sure that it'll start up, and then I'll go ahead and finish putting the intake on and everything. This one, it was kind of hard to get back in once I had it out and done, but I got it figured out, and everything is all tightened down now. Should be good to go. I changed all of the spark plugs, so it's good. There's the throttle body. Got the cables put back on. The throttle body was, I actually thought that was going to be the hardest part, since that's what people make it sound like, but it really wasn't even that bad. But here's all I have left. I have the intake mod there. You cut out part of your intake to get the cold, fresh air more flowing free from that corner. And you get a little bit more intake noise too. So let's go ahead and start it up and see if it runs. So it's running good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the intake back on and do the oil change. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I just went on a test drive and drove everything, and it felt great. The throttle feels a little bit more responsive. The car seems to run a little bit healthier. I do think the EGR is still, the EGR pipe is cracked, so that's causing an issue. So probably this summer, when I have time to really dive into it, I'm going to do the EGR delete kit, and then that should solve that issue. It might still have an exhaust leak I need to look into, and then it's still having headlight issues. The bulbs are just not pointing in the right direction. They're pointing to the side, and I cannot see when driving at night. And then just now, the driver's low beam went out. So I ordered some LEDs to replace them with, and I'll try to get them angled right to where it will I'll actually be able to see. You can see where it's leaking all the oil there. That's the oil pan shape. But it's definitely leaking oil from more places, but it was definitely leaking from the valve covers. So I'm going to check the front crank seal, the sensor. There's a sensor that's like right here underneath the engine that I'm going to look at. And then also I know for sure that a power steering hose is leaking, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that too. But none of that is super urgent. But I'm liking the gold tinted headlights. I think it's a nice little touch. Kind of goes with the gold badge there. And the Japanese license plate. And then I swapped on these LS 430 wheels here that you can see. And they're 18s compared to the 17s from the SVT Mustang wheels that came on the car, but I think they look good. They were supposedly bent, but I only think one of them is bent, because these two they ride totally smooth. They do have different size tires on them, but that doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to burn these off anyways and then use them as fronts with those Continentals I have. That's pretty much it for this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.